Good morning. Today is the 29th of April 2024 and I'm going to go through my levels for today. Firstly, as always, let's just look at the news and what could be moving the market. No news early today. We've got a bit of news at 10:30, 2 out of 3 on the scale, and then some news at 3 o'clock. So just be wary of 10:30 and 3 p.m. today. We've got FOMC coming up this week on Wednesday, interest rate decision. That's at 2 p.m. Wednesday. So we may have a bit of a strange, slow moving week. So what's something to bear in mind if you're in some trades. So let's take a look. We've got ES. This is the 1 hour time frame. This is the S&P 500 E-mini futures. And let's just start off on the daily so we know where we are. So you can see, I've got my pen, you can see we had this all-time high and we kind of fell down. We got down to this 49.50 area, which is not quite, I was hoping it would have got down to a bit below, closer to the consolidation area, area confluence, kind of this area around here. And it didn't quite get there, but by all means we're not finished on this downtrend yet. And what we're just seeing at the moment is a little bit of a pullback. Kind of got reducing volume. We had one high volume day, which is that candle there, indecision. And then we've got another low volume day, but small candlesticks. And one thing to note, we are kind of pushing into this fibs level. So we got the fibs, that's the top, at the bottom, and we got the 50%, so it's pulled back up into this 50% area. And it's been consolidating there since Friday, and obviously got the 618 just above as well. I said last week, can you expect it to pull back a bit? Kind of targeting this area for a bit of a pullback, and we've had no high volume really. And we had one day where it's a little bit above average, kind of lower than average volume. We've got this moving average line, kind of tells you whether it's above average or below average. So it kind of, to me, just looks like a bit of a pullback, a bit of a bear flag. So with that in mind, let's take a look at today's trade. I still think we've got a bit of upside movement. If we can break over the fibs, we can maybe target this 50 moving average or the 618. But let's just drop down to the 1 hour time frame. So on my screen, you can see we've got this blue line. Well, it's yellow now. Let's go with that. The blue line, that's my trend line from when we hit the recent low, and I just connected up the first two, and you can see it's kind of been honouring that. Connected up these two here, it retested it there, it kind of consolidated along it here, it broke out, kind of held it there as well, and then come back and look, it kind of retested it again there. So what I really want to see is for it to come back up and retest it again, and potentially that could be our pullback. And that's, if you note also, it's right on the 618. Also significant is the 5200 psychological number as well. So I'm kind of watching this area. It's a wide area for a rejection. If we were to look for confluence, the 618 sits right on confluence. You can see this level, we've got bottoms of pivots, tops of pivots, kind of gone through it a bit. More bottoms of pivots over here as well if we zoom out. It's quite a big area, so I kind of want to look for a rejection when we get up into this area, which is the 618, 5180 through to 5200 area. So it's quite a big wide area. So I'm going to have to just keep an eye on the market. If we can get up there today, may not even reach there today, we'll be looking for a bit of a reversal. We also got this point of control as well from this this volume profile. I like to take the two candles either side of it. Is also high volume as well, so it kind of gives us a bit of a area, and look at that, it takes us straight back into that area we're watching as well. So there's quite a lot of reasons why this area we should be watching for a rejection. And you know, last time we were up in that area, we came here, look at that, how about that for a reaction? We had a big reaction down, so kind of can expect another big reaction down. So that's kind of why I'm watching this area for a rejection. So that's my first area, 5180 due to 5200 area for a rejection. More immediately, we may not even get there today, but it's one to keep an eye on, keep that level for the next few days. And more immediately, I'm watching this consolidation area. This is the 50% fibs we talked about on the daily. And Friday we came into it, kind of rejected it, into it again late Friday, we kind of held it, pulled back down in the post-market or pre-market today, and we're back up in that area again now. So I'm not looking for a breakout. I don't really play breakouts, but what I want to see, I don't want to see it kind of put a fake breakout, push up, then come back down, and then sell off. So I'm looking for a break, then a retest, and then I'm looking for confirmation on this retest. So I'm looking for a break and retest long around 51.46. What would I be looking for? I'll be looking for a reversal pattern. I'll be looking for it to break out, come back with reducing volume. So I want to see volume reducing. I'll be watching order flow as well. I'll just flick over to my order flow screen. So I'll be watching order flow. I'll be watching for cumulative delta divergence, which is this chart at the bottom, cumulative delta. So I'll be looking to see a potential increase in aggressive buying. So right now I can see an increase in aggressive buying. So potentially this is setting up. It's only one confirmation signal, but it's setting up for a potential long. You know, I'll only get in with other confirmation. The price is going in the same direction as well. But if you look, we had this breakout and pull back on aggressive. So we had lots of aggressive buying come in there, and then it's gone back and continued the trend. But we didn't really see much of a breakout here. So probably not a lot of traders will be aware, without looking at this cumulative delta divergence, that we may be looking at a bit of a push up maybe at the open. But that's just one confirmation. It's not a confirmation to take a trade. I'll be also looking for the footprint charts as the market starts coming back down into that breakout area. I'll be looking for low volume, then a lot of absorption at the bottom. So it'll be high orders coming in, where we've got limit orders triggering and buyers and aggressive buying coming in as well. So that's like two areas of confirmation I'll be looking for. I'll be looking for a reversal pattern, so maybe a V-shaped setup like this. And also I'll be looking for areas of confluence. So if you go over to this screen, we've got the point of control in these two 30-minute candles. So I'll kind of be looking for an area where we've got more volume in the candle. So 2 point of controls or 3 in a row. Like right now, this looks like resistance to me, and this looks like support. So that's kind of, so I'll be looking for like 2 or 3 point of controls, and a point of control is a bit like the same. I'll just flick back to my main screen. It's the same point of control I'm using on the overall chart here. So we've got volume profile, and this red line is a point of control, which shows where all of the extra high volume is in that price region. So between 51.08 area, we know there's been lots of volume there, and you know, happens to come back down, maybe had lots of volume. We can see the volume as well. So touch that area, high volume candle, kind of broke through that area, but we've got a bit of consolidation here, increase in volume in that area, and also we've got extra volume around here as well. So that's kind of why you can see there's extra volume up here. There's an area of consolidation, which leads me to my next level. I'll kind of be watching for a bounce. I was originally looking for a bounce around 51.28 area, but I prefer 5100 area because of the psychological number. I've not got it marked on this screen. Let's mark it actually. There you go. So now it's a level officially, so I'll keep an eye on that. So I'm kind of watching this area for a bounce, and obviously we've got natural support coming from the volume profile, and that's it really. So I'm keeping it really simple. When I get in on these reversals, I'm only getting in with confirmation. I've changed the way I've traded a bit recently. Instead of me trying to find a bottom by averaging in, I'm waiting to get on the right side of the V. So no pun intended, left side, the right side, and also right as in it's the correct way to get in. So I'm right. So I'm trying not to average in here now. In fact, I've stopped doing that. I'm waiting for confirmation, and I'm looking to get the same level, but after we started pulling out using confirmation. And last week was a perfect week. Every day was green, and I was only using confirmation. A couple of days could have been a red day, and I kind of traded myself out of it again, waiting for confirmation on scalps as well. But I don't really want to scalp. I just want to aim for 90 minutes a day and just taking 1 or 2 setups maximum. So right now we're kind of watching this area for a break and retest. You can probably draw in, You probably recognise this pattern if I draw it in. So we've got this ascending wedge pattern or wedge pattern, and it's in an uptrend as well, so it's more likely, oh, let's go back to the arrow, so more likely to, so it's in an uptrend, so it's more likely to be a break and retest long than a rejection down, but you don't know, so that's why I wait for confirmation, because if we break down below this level here, if we break down and break that pivot, then obviously this pattern's not relevant. But I don't trade the pattern, I'm literally trading the break and retest of a level, and it happens to be pre-market high, 60 minutes area, and it's the fibs 50% area as well. So, and that's it really, that's the only levels. I'll recap again when I finish the video. Looking at SPY next, exactly same areas. Break and retest of the 510 area. We can look for resistance at 514 to 515 area, and potentially we may have a little bit of resistance, even though there's not much volume in this area, 511 to 512. So we can watch for a potential target, or maybe look to take some contracts off if we're coming into that area. Bounce wise, like ES, there's not many great bounces, but I quite like the 503 to 504 area for a bounce. Area of confluence, so got bottoms of candles, tops of candles, and that's it. So I'm basically watching 514 for a rejection, potential target if we go long. If we can get above this pre-market high, break and retest long, or bounce down at 503. Okay, next is Nasdaq. I've not looked at this chart today, so this is kind of same levels as last week. I'm not a big fan of the break and retest, purely because we've got a little bit of overhead resistance coming from these few days. But we have got a bit, look at that void, we've got this big void above. If we can get above this area, we can watch, in fact I'll take that back, a break and retest over pre-market high, and it has to retest, and ideally the breakout needs to get over these two pivots here. And then we got a big void until we get to 18,100. But remember, 18,000 psychological number, so if we, oh, that's not what I intended to do. So we've got this 18,000 psychological number as well, and happens to be the tops. It couldn't break through when it pulled back last time, and potentially that could be a rejection area as well. So keep an eye on that. Looking at Qs next. We've got this weekly trend line. I think I didn't go back on the SPY weekly. Oh, hang on, it's not even in the same place. 442. Let's go back to the hourly. 430. That's weird. Okay, we'll ignore this yellow line because it doesn't look right. I'm not sure whether charts might be adjusted for something. I don't know. Okay, ignoring the yellow line, we have got an area of confluence and potential overhead resistance at 436 to 437 area. So that's a rejection area, happens to be where that yellow line is. And look left, we can see this volume point of control kind of setting up in that area, so we can use that as a natural area of resistance. So this area 438 for rejection into this high area of volume as well. And then the break and retest, we can watch that as well, the pre-market high 432, 433 break, retest long. So where are we now? So 433 break and retest. And that's it really. Bounce wise, I'm not a big fan of the bounces. I don't really like this one. Potentially this area here, 423, maybe 427 for a bounce. In fact, it's coming off the 50, got a few moving averages in that area as well. And then this just, like we've done on the others, let's just put the fibs in from all-time high. And I'm going to do two lots of fibs because there's two potential areas. So all-time high, we've got the last pivot. So it's just a rough idea. So we kind of broke through the 50% on both of them, and we've got the 618s. I still like the breakthrough of these 618s. I still quite like the underside of this area of resistance. So kind of watching 436 for rejection. SPX, we gapped up slightly today, I think. Yeah, from yesterday, from Friday. So we're going to open up above 51.20 or around that area. So 5200 rejection area, 5100 is a bounce area. It's also, and where are we now? Out there. So if we can get back down to that, we can watch out for a bounce. The only place I can see for potential rejection is that pivot here. So let's just mark that off. And that would be 51.60 for rejection area, and that's purely because we had a big rejection from that point, big reaction, and a few pivots and area confluence as well. But that's it, just the two round psychological numbers. Let's look at gold next. Kind of putting in this bear flag. Let's draw the line in. Look at that, right on. Let's just clone it. Hold control. Look at that, perfect. So we've got this flag. We're kind of in the bottom half of this flag now, so if I were to clone that again, bring that down, so you can see the halfway point, you can see it's been pretty significant, kind of bounces off of there, a few bounces there, and a rejection there, and rejection there. We're in the bottom half of it, which generally sometimes suggests if we're going to break out, we're kind of more probable to break out below. We'll keep an eye on that. It kind of does go with the flow. Let's look at the daily for a second. Reducing volume, big pullback. Yeah, it kind of looks like a bit of a pullback. We really want to get back down to this area here, back down to the 20 moving average. So we're kind of waiting for 22.14 area, but you could see a bounce at that last pivot, 22.78. What's that? That's the weekly. Let's go back to the daily. Okay, so we're in a bit of a downtrend, pull back, and we could see this flag breach. And then I still quite like this area down here for a bounce, 22.20, 22.40. Okay, so let's keep an eye. If we break below this trend line, we can look for a break and retest short. We can probably watch for a break and retest of yesterday low and pre-market low. So watch that area for a break and retest. If we get above pre-market high, yesterday's high, they're kind of both in the same place. So we watch for a breakout over this area or a break and retest. Remember, we've got this curve and 200 moving average just above as well. So we will be, if you do go long, there's a bit of resistance above. Okay, so next is oil, crude oil. Let's draw the trend line in as well. We'll do the two most recent pivots there. So look, we're holding it here. If we were to clone that, how well does it clone? Oh, we haven't cloned it actually, but yeah, it's not too great. We'll keep the bottom on trend line in place. So the idea is if we break below pre-market low, I quite like the break and retest short actually. I really do like that. Got to get below this 200 moving average. So we can watch $83 for a break and retest short. And if we can get above pre-market high, we could probably get a bit of movement up to 840. So if we can get over 84, break and retest long with a target of 84.40. And then we've got the big point of control, and look at this big area confluence as well. Bottoms of pivots quite up here as well. So kind of watching 84.75 for a rejection. RTY, which is the Russell 2000. Kind of putting this bear flag. If we can broken, let's just get out of that now. We've done with that. I'm seeing an inverse head and shoulders pattern, so I do quite like the break and retest of pre-market high long. So that would be, let's put this level in now. So So we're watching 22.25 area, 22.20, whatever the pre-market high number is, 22.22, 22.23, break and retest long, and that's probably the only level I really like. Not much of a right shoulder, but you can just about see one. It might come back down and put a shoulder in, so we can watch 2,000 for a bounce as well. But you clearly see the neckline forming on this trade. And then YM. Again, kind of putting in a higher low and a higher high, higher low. We can watch for rejection at 3,900 area, or we can look for continuation of this hourly trend up. So break and retest of pre-market high. Yeah, pre-market high, and then there's not much until we get to about here. So that level is 38,570 long. And if I were to find a bounce, it would probably be on this area of the point of control area. It's probably around at 38,200 for a bounce. So put that in as well. Okay, lastly, Bitcoin. Volume's massively reduced over the last few days. What's that since? Was that since the halving, is it? When was the halving event? Was it the 19th of April? Yeah, I think it was the 19th because we had this big doji day. And then we initially saw a reaction, and now look, the volume's just tailing off. I'm not sure what to make of it really. But what I can see is, let's draw some levels in, trend lines in. So we can watch this area here. Can we clone it? Yeah, clone's okay-ish. Kind of got this. Let's just draw this level in as well. Oh, okay. Not sure it doesn't clone all the time. There you go. So we can watch that level. Okay, it does clone perfectly. That's a perfect clone. Kind of watching for a breakout above or below these levels really. So if it breaks below this trend line, happens to be this moving average as well, we're probably looking for a bit more selling into 50,000, or we can watch for a breakout and above the top of this trend line, 70,000 all-time highs. So nothing I can see really, just real. You can see volume's been reducing over time. There's the volume kind of coming down as the price is coming down. So it could be just a bit of a pullback, and then we could see it push back up again. But we'll keep an eye on it. There's nothing really I can see at the moment. Really want it to come back down into some of these levels down here, 40, 50,000 for a bounce. Okay, let's go back to ES, see what we've happened over the last few minutes. No, exactly the same, so the same level. So I'll just recap 8 minutes before the market opens. So I'll draw the levels on. So I'm watching for a break and retest of 51.46 area, which is also the daily fibs. I'm looking for a bounce around this area, 51.28. We'll consider another bounce around this area, a little bit higher, 51.100. Psychological number, but kind of watching this area. And that's it. And if we see a rejection, I'll see a rejection coming off of this trend line, 51.81, and that's a rejection area. And I can just zoom out a bit. We've also got the 618 above as well. So that's kind of the areas I'm watching. Okay, next up will be the order flow video. Just if you subscribe, then you get a notification when that goes live, but it will be straight after this. So just keep an eye out for that. And don't forget to hit the like button, and I appreciate that. Okay, thank you for watching.